the basic thing is learning what the problem really is. And very frequently the problem isn't what the client thinks it is at all. It's something else. And you have to find out what that is.
"50 years ago, televisions are black and white, telephones are rotary dial, and computers take up the space of city blocks. The year was 1958, and Rand Corporation needed to fulfill an Air Force requirement for a qualified organization close to the Pentagon that could handle timely and objective research projects. Due to that Air Force need, Analytic Services Incorporated was established as a not-for-profit corporation and, in Defense Department tradition, soon became known by the shorthand ANSWER. In the beginning, ANSWER was basically just a group of analysts, mostly mathematicians and engineers, with Stan Lawwill as the company's first president. From their offices in Alexandria, Virginia, ANSWER began humbly with a staff of 36 and a crystal clear focus on quality. At first, the Air Force was their sole client. ANSWER's timely responsiveness and proven ability to get the job done was immediately evident.
Our organization's strength was the fact that we had folks who, if they didn't know what was needed for an answer, knew where to go and get that answer. And we did time after time after time.
Leadership believed that providing the correct answer was crucial to establishing and maintaining their reputation as a company that stood by its work.
We didn't pull any punches. If that's what the question had to be and this is what the answer was, we weren't going to alter that answer. Absolute integrity was one of the things that ANSWER brought to the table.
In 1961, ANSWER completed the Air Force's first ever 10-year space plan. During the 60s, many of the branches were doing diverse studies on the F-4, B-52G, F-111, and over-the-horizon radar. ANSWER's future aircraft studies contributed to the design of the A-10 and F-15.
We weren't creating the technology. We were learning about the technology, or we were anticipating the technology and feeding that back into the industry, which might then develop that technology.
By its 10th year in 1968, ANSWER realized that if the company were to continue to thrive, they could not ignore factors, whether planned or unexpected, internal or external, that promoted change. Now, after its first decade of growth, ANSWER found the 70s ripe with opportunities, and one challenge to its identity lying just over the horizon.
Homeland Defense, Homeland Security was an example where a lot of the signs were there. We were seeing the emergence of terrorism. There were a lot of reports and commissions and studies that indicated the asymmetric threat, the terrorist threat, the threat of weapons of mass destruction was on the horizon. And this is another area where I think being a not-for-profit, being public service oriented, we have the latitude not to have to defend an investment like that to stockholders who will say, what's the return on that investment?
The fundamental value at the end of the day was, should we do this because it's in the best interest of the nation, and how should we go about doing that?
And that's one of the things that I think is so special about this company, is our charter gives us the latitude and our board makes sure that we exercise that latitude.
Analytic Services could not fully know how this objective would prepare the company to help the nation through some of its most trying times in the new millennium. In 2000, the core foundation of ANSWER was challenged when it lost its largest contract with the Air Force, work whose legacy went back to 1958.
At one time, the loss of that would have been the end of ANSWER. But by the time that happened, it seems the company was robust enough to absorb it and even grow beyond it.
ANSWER found new ways to support the Homeland Security mission by creating the ANSWER Institute for Homeland Security in May 2001. On September 11, 2001, employees at corporate headquarters heard a loud whoosh as Flight 77 flew toward the Pentagon.
Actually, that day our first focus was how many people do we have in the Pentagon, and are they okay?
Thankfully, no Answer employees were injured, although everyone shared in the loss. In the days after the attack, Answer contributed to the recovery efforts and helped build the Defense Department's Homeland Defense capabilities.